Alright, so now what we're going to do is animate our cone dude. So what I want to have happen basically is, come on, I want to have him basically walk into frame, okay? Now we could do this a couple different ways. I could just manually animate him walking in, but what would be easier is if I just make a symbol of him, and that symbol is him walking, right? And then I just move that symbol across the screen, and then it'll just be walking the whole time, as long as that's the animation. So you can kind of make things a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, if you remember, I'm going to collapse this layer here, and let's go ahead and lock it so I don't run into any issues. Let's lock this guy too, so I don't run any issues there. But if you remember, I made this folder and it has all the pieces in it, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm just going to right click and we're going to duplicate layers. Now the reason why I'm doing that is this. I'm going to take the one that's, we'll take this one. I'm going to take the one that's here and I'm going to make it into a symbol. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an animation of him walking. He's going to walk in and then he's going to stop and look up. So I'm going to have the symbol play. I'm going to have the one that's just the symbol across, that's the walking, and then I'm going to swap over to this version and hand animate him here. That's basically the idea of it. Okay, so we're going to leave this one alone, and this cone copy, just go ahead and expand it. And what we're going to do, let me bring this up a little bit. Okay, I didn't want to do that. Okay, and come on, got to make sure I get everything. Okay, I'm going to select this one to this one, so I get everything selected. And we're just going to take that and convert it to a symbol. Just going to go ahead and hit F8. Or you go modify convert symbol. And we're just going to call it cone underscore walk underscore MC. Boom. And now if you look, you probably can't tell because of the, I can't. See how these are all grayed out? So it put all of them on the top one here. So I'm just going to go ahead and rename this one. We'll just call it cone walk. And I'm just going to pull it out of that folder, and we'll just trash this folder. Yeah, we don't care. Okay. So now we have the symbol that's right here, and that's fine. Okay, so let's just go ahead and extend it. I'm just going to extend it to 5. I don't know how far actually I want it, so I'm just going to hit F5. I'm going to put the cursor there and hit F5. So now that's there for the entirety of 5 seconds. Okay. Now let's go ahead and we're going to open this symbol up. Okay. And you can see all the pieces that we grab. One of the things that stinks when we did that is that all the layers are gone. So we're going to have to basically reconfigure all of that. So right click over top of it. And actually, just out of curiosity, I just want to double check something. Okay, their pivots are all still there. All right. So select all of it, right click, and just go distribute to layers. Where are you at? Distribute to layers. Grab this one, delete the top layer, and now you can see we have all of our layers again. That's good. And unfortunately that means all the parenting's gone. So I'm just going to quickly parent it. It's pretty straightforward. So obviously hand to lower arm to upper arm. We're going to do face to body, upper arm to body, and then I'm going to go up. So lower foot to lower leg to upper leg, foot to lower leg to upper leg, and then right hand, hand to lower arm, upper arm, and then all of these are just going to go here to here to here. Boom. Okay, so they're all parented again. Okay, so we're going to do just a typical generic walk, and so basically it's 1 second. So every half second is going to be a step. Okay, so what that means is that 1 second is how far I need to extend these layers. So I'm going to click here and just drag all the way down, and I'm going to hit F5. You can also do it up here to insert, and then if you want to do frame, instead of trying to right click in there, because I find that, or if you want to just hit F5. I like hitting F5 because I'm on a PC. It's a little easier. Okay, and then what I want to do is just click and drag across all of it, right click and hold, and just make it a motion tween. So now it's animatable. All right, great. So what I'm going to do is we're going to work from the body out, because the body is the motion to which everything else sort of moves. And we'll kind of go from there. Okay, so let's zoom in here, Control+. All right, so I got this guy. So the body, I need the body to be the same on 1, 15, wherever that is, 15, and 30. So it's going to be in this position. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to 15. I can see actually I can see it up here too. You can see the frame right here. So I'm just going to click and drag until I get to 15. And I'm going to hit F6. And that's going to create a keyframe. And it's just going to be a keyframe of exactly what it is right now. And then I'm going to go to the end and hit F6 again. Or go to Insert, Timeline, Keyframe. Okay? It's weird it doesn't have the hotkey on that one. I don't know what that is. Or you can right click on it. But it's hard to it's hard to click on there to do it. So I suggest doing the F5s and stuff. Okay. So we're going to go like that. And then this one's a little bit different. But basically, when a person steps, when they initially step, they actually go down. And then as they go for the next step, they go up. So what we're going to want to do is at frame, let's see, let's go frame 5 here. I'm going to take my guy, make sure you're on cone body still. And I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, say, down. And then at frame, we'll say 10. Actually, let's just go ahead and we want that one to be the same as on frame. Let's see if this is 15. This should be 20 then, right here. So I'm again going to go 1, 2, 3. Make sure I got him selected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so basically we got the down here. Then he's going to go back to normal, then down, and then back to normal. But after the down actually is the up, and that's going to be at 10. And I'm just going to go 1, 2. I'm going to hold shift and just go 1, 2 as I do it. It's a little too much actually. I'm just going to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll do 12. Yeah, we'll go with 12. So then I'm also going to go to 25 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so make sure you have it selected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and if I hit play, you'll be able to see very slowly it going up and down. Okay, I'm going to hit this little loop button. And when you hit the loop, you actually have to tell it where you want it to start and end by this little thing here. So, okay, so it's going to go up and down, and that's basically as up and down of him walking. All right, pretty straightforward. All right, so now let's go ahead and, just because it's the easier thing to do, let's just go ahead and do the arms. So I'm just going to go to the upper arm here, and we just need to choose one way or the other. So I'm going to start it with going back. Right now it's like, it's got a lot of snapping, so I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to go to View and go to Snapping. Snap on. Oh, all the other snapping is off. Okay. Still kind of feels snappy. Okay, but so I'm going to just kind of do his arm back, and then I'm going to go to the end, because the first frame and the last frame have to be the same. And I'm going to go ahead and hit F6 to insert a keyframe. So it's the same here and here, and then halfway in between, at 15, I'm going to rotate it going forward. Okay, so basically it goes back, forward, and then back to the one that we keyed from the first one. So you see now he swings his arm back and forth, back and forth. Okay. That's the idea. And we're going to do the same thing with the other arm. That's not the other. Here we go. This one. So I'm going to go ahead and we will. Now, if that one's back, that means this one needs to be forward. So I'm going to move this one forward. And I'm going to go to the end and just hit F6 to make sure that's also keyed there. And then we're going to go halfway between, and we're going to rotate. So the easiest way to grab it is actually just to click on the layer here instead of trying to grab it here. And then we're just going to rotate it going back. Okay. And I am also going to move it back. So this way it'll look like the shoulders are going back and forth. And let's do that on the top one as well. So I'm going to grab this guy, and when it's forward, I'm going to have this one kind of come forward a little bit. So now we hit play. See his arms swing back and forth like he's walking. Now we could add nuance and like have his arms swing, like follow through and stuff. But for the sake of not making this a million, whatever long, I'm not going to do that. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the legs here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do one leg at a time. So I'm going to go, I guess we'll do left upper leg. So if this arm is back, this leg should be forward. So I'm going to go ahead and put it forward. Okay, and I'm going to make sure it's keyed the same on the end because it needs to be the same on the first and last frame. And then halfway in between, click off and click back on. It's just easier to do it that way. And I'm going to key that going back. Okay, so now his leg swings back and forth. And let's just go ahead and do that with the other one. Per leg. So if that one's back, this one should be forward. Oops. Okay. If that one is forward, sorry, we gotta go make sure I'm in the first frame here. I'm gonna move this back. And I'm going to go ahead and put it, I'm gonna move it back too, like that. And I'll just make sure it's the same on the last frame. I'm gonna hit F6. And then let's go to frame 15. I'm gonna click off and back on. Rotate it forward. Oops. So I clicked off of it. And I'm just going to kind of move it like that. Okay. So now you can see his legs they're swinging back and forth, but he actually needs to bend his knees when his legs are coming forward too. So that's the other thing we're going to do next. All right. So let's go. Now we need to do the lower leg. Okay. So, lower leg here is there. That's fine. So I'm going to leave that one there. I'm just going to go ahead and on this frame hit F6 as well. So it's the same on both. Okay. Now what I want to have happen is as it steps, so it's going to go boom. I'm going to go to frame 5. I'm going to click off and on. I'm just going to make sure that it's straight. Okay. So I'm going to straighten his leg out. It had a little bit of a bend to it. So basically as he steps, it's going to straighten. That looks good. And then right here, I'm just going to hit F6 to make sure it stays straight there. And then as it comes forward, we'll do it at 20. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bend it like this. So basically he's going to step, it's going to stay straight, and then bend as he comes forward. And so on and so forth. I'm going to do the same thing on the other one, okay? So let's do the lower leg of this one. I'm going to go ahead and key it. It's already keyed there. That is fine. And I'm going to do the same key here, F6. Now what I'm going to do is, let me see. Which one are we on? I'm trying to see here. Okay. So what I want to do is, basically, I need to, at frame 5 here, it needs to start bending. This is going to be its bend. And then we're going to go ahead and start to have it mostly unbent there. And then we're going to go here and make sure it's entirely unbent as he steps down. Okay. Now, I could also animate his feet flopping, but I'm going to not do that just because, again, time's sake and stuff. But it should generally kind of work. So we're going to call that good enough for the walk. There's other things I would do, but I would turn his head a little bit, like just move his head back and his face back and forth to make it, we can probably even do that actually, because his face isn't very much. Let's go ahead and do that. So, let's say here, I'm going to zoom in, Control plus, and I'm just going to squish it a little bit. Actually, so so your head generally moves opposite of your arm. So right now his arm is back, so that means it should be squished. Actually, I was doing that right. Squish it a little bit, and then I'm going to move it over this way a little bit, and maybe rotate it just a little bit to keep it straight. Good. And I'm just going to go to the last frame here and just hit F6, so it's the same there. And then on the halfway, so now this arm is forward, I'm going to kind of do the opposite. I'm going to take this guy, and now I'm going to scale it back out. And I'm going to move it over here. I guess we can kind of go like that. So now you'll see it'll look like his head's turning as he's walking as well. Okay, we'll call that good. That's good. We could do a lot more with it, but I'm not going to get into nuances. All right. So now what's going to happen is this. Let me. I'm just going to move him over so you can see him because the other guy's there. Now when I hit play, Control Enter, you're going to see he's going to be walking. And then he's going to go away at 5 seconds. Okay. And like, you know, there should be more bend in the arms and stuff like that. It's not the greatest animation. You get the idea though. Okay, good. So that's cone walk. Now that animation, like I said, it's inside the symbol, and basically the symbols, they just play continuously. They just loop. So even though it's only going to 20 to 30, and the other one is going to go to 30, and then it just plays again. Click on this to go back out. Okay. So I just want to animate him. This is good to know. So we'll go to, let's say, 6 seconds, even though I went to 5 seconds because I want to show you this. If you need to extend your keyframes or your frame here, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to click on here and just hit F5, and now it's extended. What I'm going to do is I'm going to animate him walking into the scene in this thing, okay? So what I'm going to do is actually just right-click on this and just go ahead and create motion tween. And we're going to take his starting position. And let's just put this down here. It's good to have it over there. So we're going to start here. And we're going to have him walk up to get to the last frame here. Control minus. And I'm going to take him and have him walk basically up to, let's say, here. Now it doesn't look like anything, but remember, he's going to be walking while it does this. And then, from this point, I'm going to have the other character plop in there. So we have this guy here, okay? So what I want to do is I want to take these, which are currently here, and put them over here. I can do this a couple ways, but probably the most straightforward is actually just to grab them, like so. And I'm just going to click and drag. And they should be one frame after that one ends. Okay, that didn't really... Alright, let's do it this way. So this might be easier. So I'm going to click and drag down like this, okay? And I'm just going to hit F6. And what that does, every time you hit F6, if it's not inside of a motion tween, it actually is just creating a duplicate of it. So like this is like a duplicate after this one. So this frame gets held this long, and then it creates another frame, basically. It's a keyframe still, but it creates another frame. But it's all new assets. These aren't in any way related to these ones, right? It's still those symbols, but they're duplicates of it. So now what I'm going to do is this first bit here, I'm just going to grab all these and just delete them. So now all those keyframes are gone, and then when he gets done, this one is going to pop up, okay? And then what I'm going to do is just extend all of these until the end. So I'm going to click and drag, and then I'm just going to hit F5. All right, and then I just need to match this up to that one because obviously they're a little bit different. So I'm just going to Control plus, and I'm going to put on the onion skinning here, and this way I can kind of see the two. So just make sure that you grab the body because everything's parented to the body, and I'm going to put them right here, and that's close enough. It's 2D animation. Nobody's going to know. I'm not going to tell anybody if you aren't. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that back off. I don't need that anymore. And all I'm going to do is just basically have him looking up, or just have him kind of standing there, right? So I'm just going to click off, and we're just going to make this leg a little bit more straight. And I'm just going to click. Come on. All right, and good. And then I'm just gonna have his face. Let's Control plus. Just basically look like it's squish it this way a little bit. And let's control minus. And let's take his other arm, his left upper, or actually, I'm sorry, we need his right upper arm. I'm just going to rotate this back so you don't really see it, and I'm going to move it over. Okay? Like so. Alright, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer here. I'm just going to minimize this so I'm not dealing with it. I'll make a new layer. Did it make it inside of it? It'll be done. Let's just go here. Make a new layer. There it goes. We'll just put text. And I'm just going to write something over here. So I'm just going to put, click and drag a box and just say like, wish you were here. And we'll just go ahead and change the color to something that's not ugly. Let's see. Let's sample that color, and then I'm just going to make it a little bit deeper, a little bit darker. Okay. Click off. Alright, because that's the CISO colors anyway. Maybe can I add some, let's see, render anti-aliasing, bold, embed. Let's go ahead and make this a symbol. So I'm going to hit F8, and we'll just call this wish text. And that way I can add some of these other effects here. So I don't really want to do any of that. I'm going to add a filter, and we'll just do drop shadow, just so it sticks out a little bit more. And then I'm going to grab it with the Q tool here and just make it a little bit bigger. And I am going to, let's see, here's the text, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and take this, click and, there it goes. Click and drag, and I'm just going to have this happen right when he stops talking. So just click and drag that keyframe, and then it'll say, wish you were here. And I'm going to put this, make sure I move this over here a little bit more. Okay. So let's control minus, and let's hit control enter. So I was trying to think of something I wanted to do, to be honest with you, and this is kind of how I felt. So think of it, it's kind of like one of those little e-cards, right, that you would get. So I'm thinking that text could go up a little bit higher, actually, because I actually have quite a bit more composition up there. So you know, use what you got, right? So I'm gonna go here, and I'm just gonna put this text up here. Okay, that's good. All right, so you save this. And then we want to do, the last thing we need to do basically is just export this out, and then we are bueno. What I want you to send me, though, is not the video. I want the FLA file more than anything else. I don't really care about the video as much, although you should know how to do it. It's the FLA file that I need, okay? Because that way I can see your layers and stuff. You just send me a video, I don't know, you know, what you did. So there's a bunch of different, you can export this out in a bunch of different formats. Its native format, you might have noticed when you hit Control Enter, is SWF. SWF is like a worthless file format. It used to be how they used to post a lot of stuff on the internet, because this used to be Flash, and Flash was a way of making dynamic content. And anyway, it doesn't matter, it's boring. So we're just going to do File. I'm going to go to Export, and you want to do Export Video Media. And then, so entire movie, that's good. Ignore stage, generate alpha channel. No, I want to keep stage color. And make sure it's H.264. I had a weird issue where if I had this checked on, it actually, it's what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to add it to the Adobe Media Encoder. So What Adobe ended up doing is they took all of their stuff that makes video content, so like Adobe After Effects, Premiere, this, I don't know what other ones they have, but all of those ones, and maybe also their audio stuff too. I wouldn't be surprised if their audio stuff does. And instead of having them export out of each of their programs separately, it now sends it to a program they call Adobe Media Encoder. I think most of them can still do it locally, like in their own program, but they kind of made this like central hub thing. Photoshop, or not Photoshop, Anime used to be able to do it, but it didn't do it right. Like there'd be issues with it. This is actually much better. Anyway, when this is on, what's supposed to do is it's supposed to open up the render queue, media queue, and just start doing it. Mine kept crashing. So if you go to do this and yours keeps crashing, turn that off and then hit export. It's going to create the SWF, so you'll see the SWF too, and then it's going to open up Adobe Media Encoder, but it's not going to start rendering it out. It's actually going to wait, and I would just, I'm going to pause mine, and when it pops up, I'll show that to you. Alright, boom, there it is. So now you can see it went ahead and anything that's in the queue of things to be rendered, so you can have a bunch of scenes right in here, and then when you hit play, it does it. You can adjust what you want for the settings here. The defaults are good enough. I'm just going to go ahead, instead of having it saved to this thing here, I'm just going to have it do right to the desktop. So, what the heck? I said desktop. Just right to the desktop. Yeah, that one. That's the one I want. There it goes. Desktop, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then you just hit play, and then it's going to basically try to render it. Oh, it's going pretty quick. Alright. And then, boom. Okay, then I'm going to minimize this. Yay, thanks. I'm going to minimize this. And then if we go over here, I'm going to close out of that. And if I open this up, you will see our video in all of its glory. Yay! Happy birthday. Okay. And that is it for this lab. Okay. So what you need to start doing now is thinking about what you want to do for your project. Okay. Because now we've gone through the whole process. You could basically go through these labs again if you want, but you need to create your own, and that is the first project. Now you have till the end of the semester to finish it, but honestly, you know, it's best to make it right after this so that way you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Just bang it out real quick. Okay. Other than that, good luck, good job, and we'll see you in the next one.